Hello there, this is the second part of our exciting series on UK tax, where we look at different tax codes and how they can change. If you missed part 1, make sure you click here. Okay, so in part 1 we used examples with the standard tax code of 1100L, but what happens if your tax code is not 1100L? Your tax code might be different for a number of reasons. You have under or overpaid tax in a previous year, you earn profits through self-employment, you receive some state benefits, you rent property, you get benefits from your job, such as a company car or private healthcare. This is the number one thing that people ask me about, so we're going to do some examples from here. You may also be put on a temporary emergency tax code if you change jobs. Right, let's look at an example. Here we've got a salary of £30,000. The tax diagram should be familiar from part 1. Now let's say we get a company car. HMRC calculates the value of this perk called the benefit in kind. It's worked out based on the list price of the car as well as the CO2 emissions. There are plenty of websites that will tell you exactly what your company car's BIC is. Your company should also give you a P11D form with this information on it. At the end of the tax year you'll also get a P60, which again has the information on. You should always check these to ensure your employer has correctly reported the benefits you receive. The term used for the sum of all these benefits is deductions. For this example, we will say the BIC is £5,000. This doesn't mean you owe £5,000 in tax. Rather, you owe tax on an extra £5,000 of income. So HMRC now classes your income as £35,000 for tax purposes. However, you don't actually receive the extra £5,000 for them to take through PAYE. So instead, they modify your tax code. Here, tax code of 1100L from £11,000 will become 600L. This effectively reduces your tax-free allowance and means you start paying tax sooner. In this scenario, you start paying tax as soon as you earn above £6,000 instead of the usual 11. For this benefit in kind, you will pay £1,000 in tax, which is £5,000 times 20%. This is how HMRC recoups the tax from all your deductions, and the same rule applies to the other benefits we listed earlier. Let's do another example for a higher rate taxpayer. This is where it gets a bit tricky. Here our salary is £50,000 and we'll use the same benefit in kind for the company car. As you can see, the same process happens and the tax code ends up the same. However, you'll notice that the threshold for the higher rate of tax has also dropped. What this means is that again, your tax-free allowance is reduced and you pay tax sooner. You pay the same amount of basic rate tax because the space between the two thresholds is still the same size, but it means that you start paying higher rate tax £6,000 earlier. So here, £5,000 times 40% equals £2,000 in tax. This mechanism applies in all cases, so even if you are on the edge of the higher rate threshold, say with a salary of £41,000, the combination of your salary and the sum of your deductions is your effective income for tax purposes. In fact, if you do a normal calculation, as if your salary were this combined figure, you end up with the same tax calculation. So in this example, a salary of £46,000, which is £41,000 plus the benefit in kind, has the same effect as shifting the tax thresholds by the BIC amount. This can be a bit hard to get your head around, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and we'll do our best to help. It can be the case that your deductions are actually greater than your allowance. A company car and fuel benefit can easily push you into this bracket, or if you owe tax from a previous year. When this happens, your tax code gets the dreaded K code. Let's say your salary is £25,000 and your total benefits add up to £13,000. Again, you don't owe £13,000 of tax, rather tax on an extra £13,000 of income. So £11,000, which is your personal allowance, minus £13,000 is minus £2,000. This equates to a tax code of K200. In practice, this means you start paying tax before you earn any income, and your employer deducts this amount each month from your wage. So in this scenario, your effective income for tax is £38,000. Your salary is £25,000, but you pay tax as if it were £38,000. This is not a great place to be, which is why it's important to ensure your P11D and your P60 are correct, and to understand how choosing a company car can affect your income. There are other tax code letters you can have besides L and K. If you want us to do a video covering them, let us know in the comments below. Hopefully this video will have improved your understanding of UK tax codes. It might be one of the most boring subjects on earth, but it plays a big part in your finances, and the UK tax system is particularly complex. If you like this video, please give us a like and a comment, and also subscribe to get future content. We don't always talk about tax, sometimes we talk about pensions too.